So, am I like the only person on planet Earth actually legitimately excited for Double Dragon Revive? Because I swear nearly everyone out there is just dunking on this game. Not that I can particularly blame them, because they've done a pretty terrible job of advertising it. I mean, even the name, they're acting like, oh, remember Double Dragon, this legendary classic series? Well, it's coming back, and it's like, didn't you just release Double Dragon Gaiden like 2 years ago, and then the Double Dragon DLC for River City Girls was last year, and Double Dragon 4 wasn't that long ago, was it? Like, don't call it a comeback, you've been here for years. But, truth is, I do love Double Dragon. I'm an absolute mark for all the Double Dragon games. And what's more, I'm actually buying every beat-em-up that's coming out this year to see which ones are the best. And let me tell you, there have been a lot of beat-em-ups this year. So, I'm all in. I'm very excited for this. But getting back to how poorly this is advertised and why people are concerned about it, not only are they doing this whole, oh, hey, we're bringing back Double Dragon thing, but it's also, they're claiming it's being made by Arc Systems Works. So there's a bunch of people who are like, why doesn't this look as good as Guilty Gear? Why aren't they doing something with 2D sprites? Well, because it's not actually made by ArcSys, it's made by Yuke's. Well, who is Yuke's? Well, they're actually a company that's been around since the PS1, and they primarily specialize in wrestling games. They made the WWE SmackDown series, and as such, they've been in charge of all the WWE games up until 2019, when they tried to simultaneously produce an AEW game and hired some old people from their rival company that's in a weird state right now. And they were actually saying, we're sick of having a monopoly on wrestling games. So we basically built a second team to compete against ourselves. And then Vince McMahon came in and was like, sick of having a monopoly? What do you mean you're sick of having a monopoly? Well, I can fix that. Bam! Now you don't have any monopoly. Ha! Good luck with AEW, losers. So, that's about how that went down. That was a bit of a mistake. But don't worry, they've actually still continued to get work, because they actually helped on Tales of Arise and Grand Blue Fantasy Relink. They did some battle work on those, and more than that, they've made more than just wrestling games. They did the Real Steel game on Xbox Live Arcade, which is a large part of why I have a lot of hope in their work. They, of course, did Evil Zone back in the day. They actually did the Berserk Dreamcast and PS2 games. Really, Yuke's is a company that specializes in 3D melee combat. And that's why I have a lot of faith in this game, and that's also why it's 3D. Yuke's has only ever made one 2D game, and that was Hermie Hopperhead back on PS1. They specialize in 3D, so, of course, they're making the game in 3D. And actually, that's kind of interesting, because I feel like the 3D beat-em-up is a subgenre that's been severely underexplored. Not that there's no 3D beat-em-ups, but that there's not a lot of them, and most of them aren't good. A lot of people are going to cite Fighting Force, but have you tried playing Fighting Force again recently? It really, really doesn't hold up well at all. I would say that some of the only good 3D beat-em-ups were basically from Sega. Die Hard Arcade / Dynamite Deca was, of course, that was good. And then, of course, there's Spike Out. Spike Out is great, but that, requires multiple linked machines, or you're playing split screen or whatever. But Spike Out is probably the best actual 3D beat-em-up, with, of course, the one that's probably on a lot of people's minds, Mortal Kombat Shaolin Monks. And that's the interesting thing. People who have played Double Dragon Revive, like, at various game shows, have actually said that it feels a lot like Mortal Kombat Shaolin Monks. And that has me very excited, because Shaolin Monks is great. I think it's the best thing to ever come out of Mortal Kombat. And if we can get something like that for Double Dragon, that would be very cool. And I do like how much it looks like they're actually using the 3D environment. Now, the main thing they're focusing on is, oh, we've got stage gimmicks. You can kick people into trash cans to instantly knock them out. And it's like, okay, yeah, that's literally a gimmick. It's kind of cute. That doesn't really matter. But what I actually like is that then I'm seeing things like, being able to knock down this pile of pipes and then they go rolling all over the floor, and you have different attacks if you're hitting someone against a wall, and then there's like various off-the-wall moves, and then there's like vaulting attacks where if you're leaping over an object, you'll do an attack, and then there's they've got weapons that you can pick up, which, Double Dragon's always been pretty heavy on the weapons, so we do see more of that, and that has me excited. I'm hoping that this game actually utilizes the fact that it's 3D and polygonal more. Now, I'm not going to say that I'm 100% on board with it, because, some of the redesigns are a little questionable. They're going a bit far. There's the fact that it looks to be yet another reboot, except this time Marion saves herself, like, halfway through Double Dragon 1, but I saw, like, a pyramid stage, so, like, maybe they're gonna do Double Dragon 1, 2, and 3, but this time Marion doesn't die in Double Dragon. I don't know. It definitely looks like they're going further than 1. Like, they're doing 1 again, but that's, like, the prologue, and then they're doing this other stuff. I'm a little disappointed that the main villain isn't Duke. I thought he was Duke. It's not. But I'm pretty well excited for this game, and that's because I've been looking at some of the footage, specifically the Marion footage that they have on the website. That looks really promising. If you look at that, she does, like, this off-the-wall jump, and then, like, double jump cancels a move, and I'm like, that has a lot of potential. That could be really good. Unfortunately, like, a lot of the videos do not properly show off the combat. They don't really show what you can do. Thankfully, at Tokyo Game Show, they had one of the actual developers playing the game, and it's like, oh, wait, hold on, this actually looks pretty promising. And then, like, recently they revealed this extra mode where you do these dumb bonus missions to unlock visual novels for all the enemies. So yes, there's an Abobo visual novel in this game. I'm very excited for that. But the trailer made it look super lame, and then I actually see the footage from Tokyo Game Show, and it's like, oh, that actually looks super fun. And there's a lot of people, like, mocking this game because of its graphics. They're like, yo, what's going on here? This looks like a mobile game, and I agree, but what a lot of them are missing is also that this isn't a full-price game. It's a $35 game, so the same price as Power Rangers Rita's Rewind, and actually $5 cheaper than Karate Kid Street Rumble for whatever that's worth. Street Rumble was overpriced, but I like that game. But that, on top of that, there is also a PS4 version, as well as a Switch 1 version, which does have slightly more downgraded graphics, and I'm very suspicious about that one, because honestly, Ukes is terrible at making Switch games. I tried playing EDF World Brothers on Switch, and that did not work well at all. So I'm curious about that one, and that's why I've pre-ordered 3 copies. Because I'd like to play this game on the Switch, because the Switch is my primary gaming platform, and I've got, like, all my beat-em-ups on Switch. So, yeah, it'd be great to play this on Switch. But I bought the PS5 Special Edition, pre-ordered that, because that's the Special Edition, and it's only, like, a little bit more. It's $15 more, I think. Yeah, and I want a version that I can just reliably play at the best quality. And then I was like, I should probably pick up the PC version to play with my friends, because in case any of them get the game. And then I saw that if I pre-ordered the special digital deluxe edition of the PC version, I get early access to the game 1 day early. And I'm like, am I really gonna do that? And then I realized, wait, if they're releasing this game 1 day early for early access, for if you buy the digital deluxe, it might be at midnight instead of the middle of the day. In which case, okay, fuck it. In for a penny, in for a pound. So I pre-ordered that, and then they snuck the freaking Epic Games account requirement in after I did that, but it's fine. That doesn't really bother me, but it does bother most of my friends, so they're not going to pick up that version. But then, there's the other reason I got a pre-order, and that's Double Dragon Dodgeball. If you pre-order the game, you get a version of Super Dodgeball with Double Dragon characters, and there's an Abobo team, and there's a Cleopatra team representing Double Dragon 3, and there's an Okada team representing Double Dragon 4. So, heck with it, I want that, and we don't know if they're actually going to sell that separately. They might not. I know of at least 3 other games that have had pre-order games that they never sold separately. Like, one of them was Super Robot Wars OG Saga Endless Frontier Exceed, which had a special version of the PS1 Adventures of Valkyrie where you can play as Xiaomu, and thankfully that's been preserved, but there's no way to get that normally. Then there was Dragon's Crown Pro, which if you pre-ordered the Japanese version, you got this single-player adventure book style Dragon's Crown game, and that never left Japan or got an English translation or was sold separately. And the most annoying one was the Konosuba game. There was this really boring looking Konosuba life sim where you like ran a clothing shop, but if you pre-ordered it, you got this sick-ass Konosuba rail shooter that I really, really want to play and looks better than the actual game. I might look into Switch emulation for that. So yeah, no, I pre-ordered all 3, and then, get this, on the same day, October 23rd, there is another game coming out called Full Metal Schoolgirl, and they're advertising that as being made by the Earth Defense Force team, but it's not actually made by the Earth Defense Force team. It's made by the Earth Defense Force B team, who made Iron Rain and World Brothers 2. Oh wait, that's also Yuke's! Yuke's is releasing 2 separate games on the same day from different publishers. And of course I'm buying both. Why wouldn't I? But yeah, no, freaking Full Metal Schoolgirl looks like a fun game. Unfortunately, that one is actually $50. It's coming out on PS5, Steam, and Switch 2. And it's actually a roguelike type thing. The idea is that there's a big 100-floor building run by this company that forced its employees into 24-hour work days, then the employees die and they rebuild them as robots, so they become the Walking Dead, and the girl's father is trapped in the building. He's become a Walking Dead, and they're trying to liberate them. So the crazy Dr. Hakase has rebuilt them as Full Metal Schoolgirls to go in there and kick their asses and live stream the whole thing, where they will get money and upgrades through donations and taking on viewer challenges. And yeah, no, that sounds fun. I'm in. I want to play that game. So I'm very excited to try that. I'm even more excited to play Double Dragon Revive, and I was going to do like a much fancier, more scripted video, but I got lazy and also distracted by Digimon. So I'm just throwing this together, going off the cuff, completely unscripted. Cause yeah, you know what? I am going to stream this game. I haven't streamed in a good long while, but the moment I have access to this game, I'm gonna stream it. I don't know when that will be. No, will it be as soon as the clock strikes midnight on the 22nd? Will it be midday 22nd? Will they fuck up and I have to wait until the 23rd? I don't know, but as soon as I can, I'm going to stream that game and post it to my YouTube channel that I have not been using in a good long while, because this game is... I don't trust literally anyone else's opinion. I don't trust anyone else's opinion on this game, because, well, a lot of people are going in with a super negative view, where they're just expecting it to be bad, and I think they're just going to be bashing the game wholeheartedly and making fun of it if they even give it a chance. On the flip side, though, there's a bunch of shills on YouTube who are very, very easily paid off and will just give glowing reviews to frickin' anything. And I expect that there's gonna be tons of those. And at the same time, the, like, actual beat-em-up snobs, much as I respect them, they're also, like, so devoted to arcade's game design and the past that any modernity will piss them off. Like, the fact that when Abobo does his rush attack, there's a red marker on the ground and you're supposed to counter him, that alone will get them to say this game is complete crap. And I agree, that looks a little stupid, but not enough to, like, ruin the whole game. I can still roll with that. So, yeah, no, I want to play this game, but at the same time, maybe you shouldn't even trust me because I actually defend Wander of the Dragons. Like, I did not hate that game. I don't think it's good. I think you have to go for the bad ending to get any enjoyment out of it, because the good ending is BS. But I did enjoy it because it was at least respectful to the franchise. I felt that there was actually a lot of love in that game, despite it being a complete jank fest. Unlike Double Dragon Neon. That's part of the big reason why I'm excited about this game, is at least it's taking itself seriously and trying to respect the franchise. And I know that the people who worked on the franchise are saying it's disrespectful, and I look at them and I say, Ebinuma, you okayed Neon. You think Neon's respectful and this isn't? Get bent. Because, yeah, it's such a frustrating thing, because I love WayForward's original work, and I love when they make games based on, like, TV and movies, but whenever they get to make a game based on an existing franchise, I absolutely detest it. Recently, I was playing Shantae Advance while a friend of mine was streaming Yars Rising, and it was the weirdest feeling, because I absolutely adored Shantae Advance and was absolutely in love with it and the writing and everything about it, while at the same time hating the exact same company for the exact same things in Yars Rising. Fuck that game. Fuck every time WayForward gets an existing video game franchise, because it feels like they're just... It's not even the fact that Double Dragon Neon is, like, funny and humorous. That's not the problem. The problem is it doesn't feel like they understand Double Dragon at all. Like, if Abobo was screaming, "Elevator's my one weakness," that'd be one thing, but, like, it's like they made a game. Or not elevators, conveyor belts. But it's like they made a game that, like their whole plan was, hey, we want to make this LOL 80s game, and they just shoehorned Double Dragon into that mold. I think the game has more to do with Gem and the Holograms than it does Double Dragon. Like, I love the music, I love Skullmageddon, there's some funny there, but I don't think Neon properly represents the franchise. But at the same time, it's been so long since then, and they've made so many Double Dragon games since then, I'm kind of okay with if they make a Double Dragon, Neon 2. I wish they'd make it like a parody of Double Dragon 3, but that would require, like, some actual awareness of the fucking series. But one of the things I really like about what Arc System Works is doing, there's so much to say. One of the things I really like about how Arc System Works is handling this franchise, and all the Technos franchises, is that they're basically just letting anyone in. Because if I recall correctly, when they made, when Arc System Works got the Technos licenses, River City Ransom Underground was in development. And they were worried. They were like, oh no, are we going to lose the rights? And ArcSys was like, no, you know what? You keep making your fan game, and we're going to release, like, a new actual Japanese-developed River City Ransom game, and it'll all be good. And since then, that's sort of how they've handled it, where anyone who can come up to them with, like, a decent pitch for a Technos brand game can do it, but they don't get, like, the full license. It's just, you know, ArcSys allows it. Like, that's what happened with Double Dragon Gaiden. The indie dev who made that game went up to them and was like, here's my idea for a new Double Dragon game. And, you know, he showed them his idea and the concept, and they looked at it and they said, okay, that's cool, but that's a bit too different from what Double Dragon normally is. Tell you what, call it Gaiden, make it a non-canon spin-off, we're good. And that's what they did. So we don't know who approached who on Double Dragon Revive. Was it actually ArcSys hiring Yuke's, or was it Yuke's going, hey, we'd like to make a new game, can we make a Double Dragon? You know, we don't know which direction it went in. At the same time, that means Way Forward could be working on Double Dragon 2, or Neon 2, as we speak. We don't know. And that's kind of cool. Like, if they had different companies making different Double Dragon games every year, I'd buy them all. I am a complete mark for this franchise. And sometime I'll put out a video explaining why, but yeah, no, I'm a complete mark for Double Dragon. I'm super excited for this game, and I want to stream it like minute 1 to get my opinion and feelings out there. And I swear, if they somehow piss me off, that is going to be amazing. Because, like I said, I like Wanderer of the Dragons. I enjoyed Double Dragon 4, which is way better after you beat it and unlock a Bobo. The Lee brothers suck to play as. But a Bobo makes that game amazing. So I'm really... it's going to take a lot of work for them to piss me off, but this is the game I am most excited about this year. And we're kind of only a couple hours away from some kind of launch. So, yeah. Fingers crossed I have a good time, and I'll let y'all find out about it, and we'll see how it goes. Anyway, this is Jell, and you've been Game Babbled. See ya.